morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and I'll be your captain for the next 1 hour, 30 minutes. Let's have this conversation going. The 6th day of the 6th month of 2023. My name is MC Kalia. This is the Morning Glory Show. It is one of the most comprehensive talk shows in Kenya today. And this particular day being Tuesday, then it is an Expert Tuesday. And we are discussing matters agriculture. And so the question is it potato, whatever it is, then today all we'll talk about is about potatoes. But then before we come there, then allow me also to remind you that we're coming live from Dawi Afrique Photography. Dawi Afrique Photography is situated in Eldoret. That is at the basement air of the Zion Mall building. So anytime you have anything that goes into video and photo production, then consider working with Dawi Afrique Photography. In addition to that, on the 16th, or rather on the 17th and the 18th day of 20 of this month, that is June 2023, we shall be going to Rimoi. So we've planned a safari to Rimoi, and we would want you to be part of it. So let's go have fun in Rimoi. As you also experience nature, you'd remember that if you want to see the biggest elephants, then you would find them at the Rimoi Park. So make sure that you join us on the 17th and the 18th day of this month as we go experience magical Kenya, magical Elgeyo Marakwet County. Remember, as you go through that loop, there's the Iten viewpoint, there's the Torok Falls, and many other things, including the Cheploch Gorge. So you'd want to, I'm sure you'd not want to miss this, so be part of it. Just make sure that you reach out to us through our social media handles, and let's plan how we'd be going to Rimoi. In addition to that, you need to dress to be addressed, and if you need to do so, then consider that you need to also visit D Square. So D Square, there is the fashion house and there is the school. What is the difference? When you go to D Square fashion house, they make sure that you get dressed to be addressed, but then when you check into the school, then they teach you fashion. So if you want to take up fashion as a career, that is the right place for you. And that is actually an advantage, because immediately you exit class, then you have an opportunity of walking into the fashion house and getting to learn from those fashion designers who work in the fashion house. But then all that said and bills paid, then we need to come back to the show, and we say today we're talking about potato, porado. And this particular morning I have a very beautiful lady on set. She's called Matilda, or rather Laura Matilda, if you want to call her that, or you can still call her Laura Matilda Kandie. So she actually has two English names. So karibu sana. And Laura is actually the founder and also an MD at a company called Stagro. She'll be telling us about her company, and so let me give her a chance to maybe say hi to you and also tell us about what you do at Stagro.
Thank you so much, MC Kalia, for having me this morning. First of all, it's Laura, not Laura. It is Laura.
Potato, Laura.
So it is, okay, potato. So I am the co-founder of Stagro Company Limited. Stagro is 1 year old now. We are focusing on supporting farmers. And right now, we are really working with farmers in the North Rift region, where we do capacity building. We train. We have agronomists all over the North Rift going around and training farmers. We also do supply of inputs. This includes fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and also we do certified seeds. Above all, we're also trying to do financing of these inputs, because not all farmers are able to purchase the inputs. It is a challenge, especially right now, because cost of production has gone up, the cost of these inputs have gone up. So we are trying to bring in the element of financial inclusivity to our farmers. So in a nutshell, that's what we do as a company. We are 1 year old, and we are looking into expanding our network all over the country. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that, and thank you for waking up this morning to come to the Morning Glory Show. I know it is not sio kawaida, so many people would have maybe said they would want to sleep, but then you've made time to be with us this particular morning and to educate our viewers. So thank you so much. And by the way, thank you also for those who are watching us from home. I can see already Henry Kimeli Kapkia says that's a great discussion. Thank you so much. Kathy Komen and Sema, good morning. Kalia, say hi to the guest. Thank you so much for creating time to be with us this particular morning. Of course, I'll be sampling more of those comments as they come in. Make sure that you help me share the broadcast. Click that like button, and as we've been told on this show today, we'd use potato. So maybe next time we'd say potato. And by the way, that takes me to my next question, which is of course, agriculture is quite wide. How did you now decide and say we want to go for the potato, or rather potato value chain?
As you've said, agriculture is a very wide industry. You cannot exhaust. If we start today, we will never end it. As a country, we have maize as our main staple food, then followed by potato. But if you do a research, you'll find that most of the potato farmers, they've never been recognized by the government. And where I come from, By the way, I come from Elgeyo Marakwet. We are the leaders in potato production. It is a county where we do more than 300,000 tons of potatoes, but we do not have any, value addition processes there. So we decided to focus on potato because one of it is nutritional value, and then number two, of course, on value addition and creation of employment. Yeah.
What is the state like right now for that particular industry? What is there now since you've been there for 1 year? I know you understand a lot about it. And we just want to look at the current state of the potato industry in Kenya today. How does it look like?
I've been there in 1 year as a company, but I've worked with the potato farmers for more than 5 years. Currently, we are having so many challenges as an industry. We're also having so many stakeholders trying to come on board, trying to support the smallholder farmers, but still we're not yet there. We're also trying to seek intervention from the national government and also from the county government. So as an industry, we are yet to be there. But it is my prayer probably in the near future, all these, actually the legal frameworks, and of course things to do with technology and support of the farmers can be endorsed both at the county level and at the national level, so that we can have more farmers engaging in potato production. Remember, this is a crop that takes only 75 days to maturity. It is influenced by price. And also we can do 3 seasons if we're going to go fully on irrigation. So it means per capita income for these smallholder farmers, if we encourage them to go for potato production, it will go up. Right now, the government is trying to fight poverty, but the government is telling us we go more on agriculture. They're trying to reduce the cost of production to reduce actually eventually the cost of living. So for us to do that, we have to bring these smallholder farmers on board. We have to ensure that all these legal framework have been set in favor of the smallholder farmers. Otherwise, if we are going to go the other way route of supporting, let's say, the middlemen and the market, we won't be able to actually realize the benefit of planting potatoes. And that's the reason why we decided, let's focus on this particular horticultural crop. You can see about 13 counties in this country, they're doing potatoes. But if you calculate the number of, in terms of what it brings in the economy, potato does more than 80 billion. But we don't feel the effect to the farmers. So it tells us that we have a problem in this industry. Then what the next thing will be, what are we doing as the stakeholders in this industry, right? Me and you today, we decide let's do potato. Yeah. Then how are we going to benefit from this crop? Because you see, when you're deciding to do something, you also need to see how beneficial is it? Is it going to give me an extra income? Are my problems going to be solved? So basically, that's why we are here. And that's why Stagro is here, to train these farmers, to give them the certified seeds, and of course now to have this engagement with the national government to give the subsidized inputs to our farmers. Yeah.
And with that, not a friend of mine called this farmer Kachile is actually called Dr. Kachile. He says
Yes.
he needs a certified seeds. So that's already a client I'm giving you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you so much, sir, for making time to watch the Morning Glory show this particular morning. And to everyone who is already tuned in, thank you so much. This particular morning, we are talking about agribusiness and agri-tech. And we're actually focusing on the potato value chain. So if you are there at home, you're watching, and you really need to understand more about potato farming, then you need to tune into this show. And of course, if you know of anyone who is not watching at the moment, tell them to come in. And my next question actually, of course, you've said it takes only 75 days, which makes me smile, because it means that, of course, you can do 3 seasons in a year.
Yes.
And you can still be able to get food for this country. Now, that is what should be happening.
Yes.
It is not happening.
Now, you see, the potato industry has a lot of challenges which are yet to be addressed. The main challenge, and it's good that Mr. Kachile has raised up, is the certified seeds. You know, we are so used to the traditional way of farming. You plant, you harvest, then the small potatoes you put aside to be your seeds. We are really encouraging farmers to move from that traditional way and to embrace the certified seeds. We have different varieties of certified seeds. And let me just touch a bit of it before I answer your question. For us even to realize the processing bits, there are different varieties that you have to process. We are so used to shangi. We eat shangi, we plant shangi. It's our lifestyle. Shangi is everything. Yeah. But now we also need to embrace the new varieties for processing. You remember the issue we had for KFC? They didn't have potatoes. We are planting potatoes as a country. Why is it that we cannot supply our potatoes to KFC? It's because it doesn't meet the qualities. So quality is very key in the industry. So for us to have the certified seeds, for us to train the farmers, we also have to go down and train these farmers and tell them you need to embrace the certified seeds. Back to your question. Potato takes 75 days, maximum 90 days. That is shangi. If you go to the Dutch variety, it takes about 4 months, which is still okay because, of course, at the end of it, it has a value on it. The reason why it is not lucrative. Look, even right now, the prices, they've gone down drastically. The brokers, we have so many brokers in this industry. When the demand is so high, the prices go up. I'm an economist. So like right now, the prices are going, I think they're about 1,000 shillings to 1,500 per 50 kg bag. In the next 1 month, it will go to 4,500. So the prices keeps on fluctuating. So most of these farmers, they fear, I might plant today and then I sell at 500. You remember there's a time, was it last year, when they were selling even at about 300 shillings a 50 kg bag? Actually, it's not even 50, it is more than 50 kg. So farmers, they fear price fluctuations. Number 2 is the pest and diseases. Sometimes you can plant, let's say you do 2 acres, then in the morning, there's frost and the whole entire potato, it's done. So of course, there are so many of these challenges that encompasses potato planting. And that's why I'm saying for us, we have agronomists going around and training farmers on pest and diseases, on market viability. Because I cannot tell a farmer I'm giving you a certified seeds if I cannot provide you a market. Right now, the potato industry is, we have so many brokers who come and dictate the price. A farmer cannot dictate a price right now. But what unique thing we're trying to do, we are trying to connect our farmers to the market, to do away with the brokers. That's why we normally say we are trying to do the last mile connectivity, whereby we have the farmer, we have the financial institution, the government, and eventually the market. Without those four elements, we will never find this industry very lucrative. And that's the reason why most farmers, they fear. And then you see, for us, we plant for subsistency. We just plant, we eat, the few we sell. Because we need things like, let's say, to pay school fees, basic needs, the basic needs that all human being needs. So if we are going to embrace, like we do potato for commercial activities, it means we have to put in place good practices for us to realize huge production at the end of it.
And maybe to interrupt you just before we come there, you've talked about the issue of price fluctuation, which for me is a big issue.
Yes.
We want to unlock the full potential of potato farming. What is this that is causing this fluctuation?
It is so simple, Mr. Kalia. We have so many brokers in the industry. And then you see, we have this pattern of potato that during the we have 2 seasons in Kenya, the long rain season and the short rain season. So during the long rain season, everyone is doing potato. I normally tell my farmers, why can't you have a schedule, like during the long rainy season, the first month, if you have, let's say, 5 acres, the first 1 month you do, let's say, the first 2 acres, then, the next 1 acre, like that, so that you can harvest. And then after like 90 days, you can have a period of 3 months whereby you'll be harvesting. Now, we have surplus production of potato, like right now. It's surplus. Everyone is doing potato. And it is same variety. It is shangi. So if I'm doing shangi, you're doing shangi, everyone is doing shangi, the market becomes flooded. Then now these brokers, because they buy from our gate price to sell to the market, it is the market that dictates the price. So if the market today say like a 50 kg bag will go for say 500, the broker will buy at 500. Now sometimes we blame them, but it is the market. Now, if we embrace new variety, which is very, let's say, the demand is it's very high because people so far they've not embraced the new variety. Let's say the Dutch variety. So it means it will bring in higher prices. But right now, because everyone is doing everything, it is the same plant, it is Shangi, and even in our eateries we are doing Shangi, the prices of course definitely will go down. And there's no way we can control the brokers from lowering the prices. It is an economic approach.
It is an economic approach, and of course we are lucky this morning that we also have you being a potato expert and also an economist for that matter. So that means that we would have a full class. But then let's hear what the viewer is saying also. So there's somebody called TK Sirop IK says greetings to the lady from Elgeyo Marakwet. Thank you so much. There's BK Kasain says great show. Let me know more. Let me know if they aspire to include livestock as one of the value chains. Okay. There's Anthony K. Says congratulations, Laura. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Then Henry Kimeli Kapkiai says tell her to tell us where we'll get the services. Thank you so much. Then Keino once again says thank you for the incisive information. I didn't know that it only takes 75 days for a potato to mature. It can actually be done 3 times a year without a problem. And that's exactly what you're talking about. We'd want to bring you as insightful guest as possible on the Morning Glory Show, just to make sure that the Expert Tuesday remains to be as edifying as possible. So after consuming this, then make sure that you do something with it, because we really want food in this country. MC Yogo says watching, anasema yeye alipanda ile ya white ikatoka vizuri lakini ikatipata na bei mbaya. So that's what you're trying to diagnose. So how are we going to deal with that? And there is a Chepkisa from Chepkisa Kiprop Koni says he's watching. Engineer Caleb Tano, he says greetings to you guys watching live from Kibich borders. And by the engineer umepotea sana bana, nitafute tukunywa chai. Anyway, so you see that is exactly what everyone is talking about. Everyone is saying nilipanda ile white and they didn't come out well and all that, and we've talked about trying to unlock the full potential.
Yes.
And for us to do that, then we may want to get a case study. Are there case studies of successful potato ventures elsewhere in the world?
Let me pick Rwanda. Rwanda is an interesting country. You remember those days of genocide? Then they've come and even they're beating our economy. We have international investors who've gone there and invested in potato seriously. Why? There's enabling environment provided by the government. Right now, they're doing their own processing. They're called Hollanda Foods. They have very big cold rooms situated all over the country. You know why we still have issues here? If we had cold rooms, let me just pick Elgeyo Marakwet because I come from there, and also it is the leading county when it comes to potato production. If today Elgeyo Marakwet had a cold room, say of about 1,000 metric tons. Now, when the prices are very low, we just store our potatoes there at a fee, because you see, it is a business entity. It has to run every day. Let's say at 2 shillings a day. We store a potato, we wait for the market, for the prices to go up. Give it a month, because you see, it doesn't take long. A month or so, and then the prices hits 4,000. Then we sell it. You see, now we value added by just, storing them. And then now we wait for the prices to go up, then we sell. And that's what we are doing as a Stargrow. Right now we are finalizing on our feasibility study for establishment of a cold room. Eventually what we want to do do a value addition of our own potatoes. But we cannot run to value addition without have a storage, without starting from the soil. So we are doing soil analysis, then we go to provision of cold rooms, then from there we can do now the processing. If I do today the processing, where will I get the potatoes? Because, a common farmer atapanda na uze, because I have my own needs every day. So even if you tell me about, I don't know, storage and what have you, I need to buy sugar. I have school fees to pay. I have children to feed. So for us, what we're trying to do is just trying to connect each and every phase until the value addition. I was telling you about Rwanda. Right now, they are actually among the leaders when it comes to processing of actually the best quality of potato in Africa. And they just started the other day. Where are we as Kenyan? So if you go through that story, you realize there's a lot that we need to do as a country, and especially as stakeholders in the potato industry. We need to empower our farmers. Most of our farmers are not empowered. We just plant because everyone is doing it. Your neighbor is planting because I told him or her, let's do this potato. Yes. So if we're able to take this industry very serious, we will be able to realize the benefits of doing potato farming in this. Because you see, potato fetches a lot of money. I normally tell my partners, potato has billions of money. And for me, because I'm an economist, I always like, discussing numbers. If I want to give you an idea, I give you in terms of numbers. If I calculate today what you can fetch as a farmer in an acre of potato, most of my farmers, they normally say it's a lie. But when you employ all the practices I've told you, like certified seed, good fertilizer, and good, of course, when you follow the correct, what do you call, the agricultural practices, trust me, you'll be able to do 150 bags in 1 acre. That fetches almost close to half a million in 75 days. But we are always doubting Thomases. I'll tell you no. Eh? Yes, but it is possible. I know farmers who've actually followed our procedures, and they're doing even up to 150 bags per acre. Other is between 120 to 150. They've realized the importance of practicing good agricultural practices. These are very few, and we're trying to bring in more farmers through contract farming. So at least we can have trainings, every week, different words, and of course now linking them to the market. Yeah.
Okay, you've talked about value addition, and for me, the reason why I cannot buy a sack of potatoes is because I will lose them within maybe 2 weeks. And you've also talked about cold rooms.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of value addition, and this is a question that I'm asking as a doubting Thomas. I'm becoming a Thomas here.
Yes.
Consumers of potatoes in Kenya today are doing it because maybe they are giving it an alternative of maize, right? Yeah. So when we do value addition, what exactly are we doing to this potato? Are we still able to consume it? Is it still able to maybe replace maize in terms of, or rather any other stable food that people have known for a long time? Is there a way that we can keep it and still make sure that we are able to now sell it to also the common mwananchi who may just want to consume it as food?
Did you know that per capita consumption of potato is 25 kilos per year? You as MC Kalia.
25 kilos.
25 kilos per year.
You nakula crips na chips.
So of course on average, based on research done, it's 25 kilos per capita consumption. Now, the reason why we want to focus on processing, just look this side of North Rift first. Do we have any value addition going on for potatoes? No. We've had so many investors coming on board, but none has been able to crack it. You understand? No one has been able to crack it. What we want to do, we want to value add our potatoes. We want to tell farmers, let's move from Shangi to these different variety that can be processed, because you see, there's advantages and disadvantages of not processing Shangi. But of course, recently we have Shangis which have been processed. Now, the reason why we are doing this, it is solely to stabilize on prices. If I come in and tell my farmers that I'm able to buy your potatoes at 3,000, whether the supply is too high or the demand is too high, my standard price is 3,000. All my contracted farmers tell me, even you who's doubting, you'll definitely venture into this business because one, you're guaranteed of price. We've already have a signed agreement that I will take your potato at 3,000 per 50 kg.
So whether it rains, whether what happens,
Yes.
you are sure that 3,000 will actually.
You're guaranteed of the price. And you see, once I'm guaranteed of the price, it will make me now to continue production to produce more of these potatoes. But if you let the market play its own role, I'll buy at 500 because everyone will do the production. So for us, we want to do the value addition once we've brought in farmers on board. We don't want just to start processing things which we're not sure. We also want to focus on the best variety for processing. I don't want to mention like we have this variety or this variety because in Kenya we also have other companies that are doing different seeds aggregation for different varieties for processing. But there are those potatoes that have the same characteristics for processing. And that is why we are focusing right now. It's value addition.
Value addition.
Value addition.
Okay, now let's for a minute talk about now the technologies that are there to promote potato farming. And as you go there, the soil is one of those things that we'd want to really also focus on in terms of making sure that we have the right soil for the right crop.
Let me say this. Traditionally, we are so used to, DAP for planting, DAP for maize, DAP for cereal. DAP is everything. I'm so glad that we have different companies that have come on board. Potato, fun enough, it needs a lot of K, that is potassium. Yeah. But when you keep on doing DAP year in, year out, this is the ammonium phosphate. Our soil becomes more acidity. Yeah. And that's why we have low production. It's good. We have a company like Baraka. We have Yara. They're giving us the NPKs for potato, where the K element, which is now the potassium, yes, it's in plenty. So if we're able to start from the soil, we advise the farmers, let's move from this DAP to this fertilizer for the potato. Then from there, after doing the soil analysis, now we do the trainings on different varieties of seeds. And that's where now the technology plays in, right? In potato, it's so simple. And the way I've told you, I need to be as simple as possible. One, the first technology, it's just the use of certified seeds. Yeah, because once you're so used to the certified seeds produce one tuber, it can give you up to 10 to 20 potatoes. Yeah. Number two, of course, now we have things to do with apical cuttings. I don't know if you've come across apical cuttings. Yeah. So apical cuttings is whereby you cut part of the roots of the potatoes, and then you take it to the lab, and then now there's a process that they do it, then they sell it to the farmers once it has sprouted. Like, unaenda sokoni unachukua hizi, what do you call, spinach, enye unapanda. For us tumezoea, you take the seeds, you plant, but now for apical cutting is different. So you go, you take those cuttings, and then now you plant once they've already sprouted. It is cheap. It's a good technology, but it has its own challenges. Our farmers cannot embrace that one. So basically, those are the two main technology I can say that we're trying to employ. Now there's a unique technology that we also trying to do as a company. It's called blockchain. Yeah, blockchain, it's not used by so many. And in our blockchain technology, we are trying to, to make our last mile connectivity, whereby, let's say farmer A or cooperative A, they've produced their potato for processing. They've brought to us, we've processed it, and we've sold it to the supermarket. So you as MC Kalia, you go to supermarket and buy this processed, or let's say the processed French fry. So on that processed French fry, we'll have a barcode where you scan the barcode. And once you scan the barcode, it will tell you this potato actually came from Leland. And you have that choice of rewarding the farmer, or let's say the group. So that is what we're trying to do right now. And it is a very unique, and I don't know if there's anyone doing it in the country, but for us, that's what we want to do, because we want to reward our farmers, but we
Maybe
cannot
you need to
reward
get that
directly.
quite clearly. So that means that when it goes to the market, because
Yes.
I've seen this working with mangoes,
Yeah.
where people say nataka maembe ya mahali fulani. Are you
Mhm.
trying to introduce maybe the same kind of?
Yes. So what we're trying to do, now mango, it's different because these are two different value chain. For potato, let's say we do the processing of French fry. French fry tunaitanga chips. You understand? It's only the terminologies are different. So if we do the French fry and we sell it as a frozen French fry in our supermarkets or even in our local eateries. So if you go and buy these French fries, it will always have a barcode. You scan that barcode, it will tell you this potato came from Kaptalamwa, this potato came from Kabiego, or it came from Chepkorio. And there's that option of rewarding the group or the farmer. You give them points. These points are going to be redeemable. And then now, you convert it to money. So we are just trying to encourage more farmers. Yeah.
I can see my producer comes from Chepkorio, so he's actually
Oh.
nodding. He's almost knocking my computer away.
Yes.
Okay, and now let's talk about. Okay, you've talked about the technology and the. I'm sure there are more technologies, of course, you'd want to talk about
And
before you go to the next question.
before I forget, there's the issue of the cold room that we had mentioned. We have partnered with two Dutch companies. One is called Hansi Agrosto and the other one is called Celtic. So Hansi, they have a very unique technology whereby their stores uses humidity to reduce the temperature, or rather to just cool down the potatoes. I don't know, have you ever come across this traditional cold room whereby they put charcoal and water? So it is the same way, the same technology, but now,
Modernized.
in a modern way. So we've partnered with them. So far, they've built a store in Anapkoi. They're doing one in Elgeyo Marakwet and several others that they'll be building along those sides of Marakwet. Leland, Kaptalamwa, we'll have one in Chebara. This one actually does not use electricity completely. So of course the cost of running is down. We are trying to cut cost of production. Even the president normally say, let's cut down cost of production. So the cost of electricity, it's null, because now it uses the humidity whereby in the evening you just open the doors, the cold comes in and then in the morning you close it. So having cold rooms in place and a good cold room that embraces the current technology, it's another technology in potato farming.
Much for that, of course. Let's now talk about the issue of policies, because policy will play a great role in terms of now regulating how all this can be possible. What is the government doing? What are you doing as a Stagro to now make sure that somehow you also control what the kind of policy that is being passed to affect the potato value chain? Because there was a time we were talking about the size of the bag. I've never had any other tangible policy or even suggestions that have come towards that particular industry. Is there any active push for policy that favors production and processing of potatoes in Kenya today?
The policies are there. The only problem we have as a country, we will set the policies, but when it comes to implementation, it becomes a problem. I want to thank the former governor of Elgeyo Marakwet, Governor Tolgos, because he's the one who passed the policy of reducing the size. Nowadays even it's called Tolgos. That gunia, it's called Tolgos. yeah. Because we felt like most of our farmers were being exploited. You can imagine you do the 90 kilos and then you're selling at about 1,000 shillings or even 800 shillings. So that was actually a great milestone, to reduce to 50 kilos and then you sell it at 50 kilos. Although if you go around, it's not really 50 kilos because you'll find it has really stretched. It is like about 70 kilos. But we're really hoping that it will really, they will really stick to 50 kilos. As I've told you, our biggest issue is implementation. Yeah. Let me just take an example, because I normally like, talking from examples. Last year, we did a project with the Ministry of Agriculture. It was a program funded by IFAD. Now, unlike this other one for cereals, whereby government used to subsidize about 40%, they did actually a pilot project because they wanted to see how they can enact these policies. But for them to do that, they wanted to do a pilot program. So they did a pilot program in Meru. They did one in Elgeyo Marakwet, and I think Nyandarua. Now, what they did as the government, they subsidized the inputs 60%. These include seeds, fertilizers, and chemicals. And there is a success story of that program. Now, after that is where now they need to go back and sit. We have organizations like KEFIS, where they do regulations. Not any other person can be a seed aggregator, and they've tried as much as they can to ensure that they have people who are doing seed aggregation. They've followed those standards, and they normally go around even checking the farms. So KEFIS as an organization, they've been given that mandate by the government, and they're doing a great job. We also have CALRO, who are also doing seeds aggregators. They're seed actually aggregators. So the thing is, on potato policy and regulations, we have so many policies, like policies to enhance, let's say, things to do with post-handling, the people who are distributing these seeds, the technologies used to be employed during the process of planting, so many, even marketing, even pricing. But the thing is, implementation becomes a challenge. And today I want to challenge the government. If you go through the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza government, especially on food and agriculture, on food security, they've even emphasized on potatoes. Let them put a clear structure on the policies and implement them. Even us as investors, there are some policies which they're not favorable to us. And that's why when I told you at the beginning, a country like Rwanda, they have a very good enabling environment for investors. And that's why they're doing very well in potatoes. Here, of course, we have these policies, but they've never been implemented. If we're able to implement and create a very positive environment, we will have so many investors coming in. And that's why us as Star Agro, we also have our own investors. We are working together. We've already contacted the county government. They are aware of us. They are aware what we are doing. They've even tried to give us that enabling environment for us. And that's why I'm telling you, in the near future, our ultimate goal is having the processor in place. You get it? Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Of course, for those who just joined us, this is the Morning Glory Show. If it's the first time you're watching, we are usually here from Monday to Friday, just making sure that you get to be edified, and Tuesday is what we call the Expert Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not clicked the like button, please do click the like button. If you have not shared the show, help me share the show. And if you have any questions to ask Madam Laura here, then make sure that you also shoot those particular questions. And as we move forward now, we're talking about the issue of, you've talked about the soil. You've talked about what can be done to make sure that we are processing our potatoes. What can be done to make sure that we are storing our potatoes, that we are even having a continuous loop of production, plant in 2 acres, then make sure that when this is getting depleted, then we have this and all that. Let's now talk about the market. Na ushaanza kutuambia soko ni chafu. Umesema soko si safi vile.
No. Now, it is actually an interesting bit. The market, it plays a big role in setting prices. But as much as ni chafu, we also know how to play our cards very well in the market. Yeah. And that's why we are saying, for us to prosper in this industry, we have to link our farmers directly to one, either people who are doing processing. If it is not us, of course, we have companies that they are doing processing. We have the Tropical, we have the Norda industry, we have Sereni Fries. If we are able to link these farmers directly to the processors, who are actually the market people, we'll actually kill the brokers. We kill the brokers, we increase the price. But you say now, before we reach there, the other side, they'll tell us, look, these are the conditions that we want from the farmers. Your farmers are doing shangi. We are not buying shangi. Then you go back to the market. Then you see in this country we have about 1 million eateries. Everyone is doing shangi. We cannot run away from shangi as much as we're trying to introduce new variety. So the market itself, we are trying to bring on board people who can consume this potato. And bringing on board, we are bringing our processing plant on board. We have a processing plant either situated in Wasingishu or Elgeyo Marakwet or wherever. We are able to consume our own potatoes because we are doing more than 300,000 metric tons per year.
Shangi?
Yes, of shangi. If we're able to do, let's say, even the 50 around 50,000 tons per year, at least we've consumed something from our own potatoes. It means even these brokers, they'll have a problem, going around to buy these potatoes. So the ultimate goal for us as a county or as the North Rift block is to have our own processing plant in place so that we use our own potatoes.
So this is what you're saying in short, that let's give our shangi some value.
Yes.
Once we've given our shangi some value, then we can work on the market linkages.
Yes.
Beyond shangi.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about the presence of the Eldoret International Airport in this region. The other day I had Mr. Walter, who actually is the manager at the international airport.
Yeah.
He told me that you guys are exporting nothing and nothing completely.
Yeah.
And before we even talk about that, how willing, because you've now also talked about standards and quality and even variety, which we don't have. How long will it take before we are able to even export our potatoes? What will it take?
Do you know we already have orders for potato, just ware potato, to export to Saudi. The thing is,
Umesema Saudi moja.
Saudi Arabia. Yes, Saudi Arabia. I'm so used to Saudi fertilizer. So Saudi Arabia. The thing is, we are not able to meet the local demand. You know why? We are doing in small scale production. We're doing in quarter of an acre, half an acre. On average, it's 2 acres. If we go fully on large scale, we'll be able to export. But since we're in small scale production and it has been mostly on subsistence, it becomes a challenge for us to export. But we, as a company, we've acquired a land whereby we will be doing ware potato in large scale for export purposes. But you see, it doesn't make sense, economically sense, if we export and yet we are not able to meet the local demand. Because you see, the local demand of potato is just that period when everyone is harvesting. Then after that, unaambiwa there's shortage of potato. That's the reason why unaenda sokoni unaambiwa gorogoro moja ya viazi ni 250 ama 300. Why? There's no potatoes. So it means we are not able to meet the demand.
Juzi I saw a meme that I should keep you thinking. Ati unashuka bei mbio kama viazi.
Actually, the prices drops.
Actually, viazi inashukanga bei from 300 and it's all of a sudden we are 30.
Do you know, like by December, we were doing 5,000, 6,000. It just came down slowly and then it stagnated at about 4,500, 4,300. Then, whoop, we are at now 1,200.
1,200?
Yes.
You are sorted.
In fact,
everyone right now is a chips vendor.
Next week, if you go to Nairobi, along the road, utakuwa unaambiwa tu 100. You know, the debe. So, Mia. Because at the end of it, I need to sell, right? I need to sell those potatoes.
Because they'll get spoiled anyway.
Like Shangi, the disadvantage of Shangi, after like 2-3 weeks, it gets spoiled. So, utenda hasara. Eventually, you have to sell it. Yes, so that's the reason why unaona mtu anasema let me just sell it at a throwaway price and
Good morning, everybody. Wakey, wakey. It's time for Morning Glory. My name is MC Kalia, and okay, thank you so much for being with us this particular morning. Of course, this is the Morning Glory Show. It is exactly 28 minutes past the hour, 8 in the AM. And today we have with us Laura, who is actually the MD and also the co-founder of Stagro. It is an horticultural company that is actually so concerned with the potato value chain. And this particular morning, she's shared a lot of insights over what can be done to make the potato industry better than what it is at the moment. And as we come to the tail part, we want to have a resolution because you've actually presented to us so many possibilities, including possibilities that this could actually not work if we don't work on a few things.
Yeah.
And you've said what you're doing as a company. So many people, first of all, have realized that need what you've said is certified seeds. Maybe you also need to tell us your exact location in terms of offices and how people can find you. Then we now want to also talk about maybe the small improvements that we can make at a farmer level. What I can do at, because we've talked about policy, it looks like it really has to have a deliberate interest and need from the government for it to happen. But what can I do at a farmer level? How can I be part of the solution as a person? Maybe that is what you want to talk about in the next few minutes. But then before that, share with us the location, because I've realized it's a question that keeps on coming.
Okay, so we have our go down, let me say behind Sokoni. It has been branded Stagro. We have an office at Moscow Towers, Mezzanine M8, where I sit. So anytime, feel free to visit. And I think we will share my contact and the office contact on the live coverage, so that if there's anyone, I know there's a problem of seeds and everyone is asking for seeds left, right, center. We have a demand of over 60,000, but we're only able to meet about 20,000 for this season. Yes.
And this provides an opportunity for people. Why do you think people are not venturing into this? Is it lack of information? Is it that the market is too convoluted for people to get into it? Where is the problem? Kuna kuanga na hiyo watu wanakuanga writers. Do you know them? The online writers.
Yes.
Yeah, I usually hear that getting into that circle is quite hard. Do you have the same thing in the potato industry, whereby there's a small cocoon of people who've come together and can't allow others to get, where is the problem? Because it seems that the potato industry has a very great potential to even impact the economic or even to start economic progression in this country, but there's nothing happening, or rather there's very little happening. Where's the problem?
You see, the main issue, the main challenge we are facing as stakeholders in the potato industry is the issue of the price and the availability of the certified seeds. And that's why we are coming in to just give those two solutions. Forget about those write-ups, because now with the availability of ChatGPT, they can get anything, So technology has really changed a lot of things. But for us, we want to be as factual as possible. We want to provide the certified seeds. I'm telling you, most people, yesterday I met a good friend of mine, an Indian. He wanted to venture into this industry. He didn't venture. Why? Because he tried to look for the certified seeds, but he didn't get them. So you see, having these certified seeds in place, and I think even some people are asking for the certified seeds, if I'm not wrong. So if we're able to have the certified seeds in place, then it will now become lucrative, because eventually the certified seeds, it tells you that you'll have bumper production at the end of the harvest. So that is the thing that people fear. And then number two, of course, the way I've told you, it's the price. I fear I can do a lot of investment, then I sell at 500. It doesn't make economical sense to me.
Okay, Laura, let's do this for a minute. I'm planning to venture into potato farming tomorrow morning. What are the factors to consider?
First of all, I'll ask you where. Because you see, potato, you cannot just plant anywhere like maize and wheat. Like our region in Uasin Gishu, we do a lot of maize and wheat. So potato, of course, has its own climatic conditions. I'm so happy that Fresh Crop is actually one of the aggregators. They have a variety that it is you can plant it anywhere. It's called Wanjiku. Farmers, they normally call it Super Shangi.
Super Shangi.
Yeah, because of the bumper production.
I almost used the word that could get me fired.
So that one, I normally even tell my Uasin Gishu farmers, you can try that one because it is resistant to climatic condition and pest and diseases. You go down to Marakwet like this morning, you'll find even it's raining. It's very cold. But here in Uasin Gishu, it's very hot. So you see, those weather conditions are so different. So if today you tell me you want to do potato, one, I'll ask you, you want to do it where? We'll have to visit your farm. We'll have to do the soil analysis. Then we'll have to give you the certified seed. Of course, not for free, because we're in business, we sell. So we'll sell to you the certified seed. We'll advise you which agrochemicals to use and which fertilizers to use. Then each week you'll have our own agronomist coming, because you see now you have to be spraying weekly, putting the nutrition, and in case of any diseases, you need to have the fungicide. That spray program, it has to be there. So it's not a big thing. And in fact, 75 days, that is 2 months and a half. So the first month of land preparation, the second month of the spraying program, the third month of harvest. Yeah, it's just as simple as that. Are you ready? It's a matter of yes, no. If you're ready, we go. If you have a land, we do the soil testing, the analysis. They have there's a technology they're using for soil testing, which is very unique. You don't even need to go to pick those sands uchukue lab. You can just test there and you finish. So that's what I'm telling you. Technology is really evolving
changing
in
a lot
agriculture.
of things.
Yes, a lot. Yeah.
And of course, now as we also come we are coming towards the end of this particular broadcast, the question that so many people would ask is how long will this take? Of course, not in terms of how long it will take for it to mature. We are talking about the possibility of the potato industry, or rather the potato value chain, will take, in your own wisdom, in the knowledge that you have, and if everything remains constant, or if a few things improve, how long will it take before we can achieve the full potential of potato in this region? The reason why you've been on this show this particular morning is because, of course, you'd want more people to come in and do the correct practices for us to have more potatoes in the industry. When people are getting into something, you're looking at, unajua kama kuna time tunaambiwa tupande avocado, because we're saying, okay, now this India inabamba. So how long will it take before potatoes ikue India inabamba? Because you've given the roadmap. How long will all this take? Sisi ni wa Kenya.
Something interesting about potatoes, and I normally say, I've even told you, 75 days, let's say 90 days, or even 100 days, just for maturity.
Ile ya serikali. Siku 100 tuta.
Exactly. Weka 100 days. Tuna harvest, tunafanya kila kitu. But you see now, we have to put into consideration everything that I've told you, all the phases, yeah, from soil, planting, training, and market. You understand? So if we're able to bring in more farmers, or rather, if most of our farmers, the way they think, it's of course the traditional way. Yeah. If we're able to now train them, because it will always start on training for them to embrace maybe things to do with new technology and a new variety. For me, or rather us as a company, if probably let's say a maximum of about 1 year, because like right now what we are doing, we are bringing more farmers on board. We cannot work with 10 farmers. We are going all over training and bringing more farmers on board. If we're able to capture, let's say at 5,000, let's say 1,000, let's be reasonable, 1,000 farmers. Yeah. So with this 1,000 farmers, we train them, we give them certified seeds, and we do what do you call the market connectivity with them. Remember, another thing that I think I forgot to mention, in our own model, we want to ensure that if farmers are not able to raise their cost of production, we have a financial partner who's able to finance this farmer to purchase these inputs. So in a nutshell, we are trying to encourage more farmers to practice this potato farming. Yeah. So for us, I think if we go for about a year, so at least we are able to bring more farmers. Because for us to realize, even we normally say, for you to realize more profit, you have to focus on economies of scale. Yeah. So if we're able to bring in more farmers on board through contract farming, then it means we're able to realize on economies of scale as a company. And on the farmer's perspective, we're able to increase their per capita income. Remember, I talked of per capita consumption. Now we are talking of the income, because now we are raising their standard of living. We are trying to elevate them from poverty. Yeah. Because you see now, most of these potato farmers, they'll tell you, you go visit them, you'll see their, their condition. But I like, because nowadays they've realized kumbe kuna pesa kwa viazi. Yeah. So eventually you're able to increase their revenue. Yeah. Increasing the revenue, of course, there's things to do with employment. If we're able to do the processing, employment comes in automatic. Even the cold room, employment comes in. Even in our trainings, because if we move from one ward to another, we normally use assistance from the ward, what do you call the ward admins, and also we employ people from that particular ward. Yeah. It is. So you can just
okay. I needed to ask you. Of course. We've talked about that. And what are the other initiatives? Of course, I've seen programs like climate smart agriculture and other programs like those. Do you feel the impact of those ones in terms of changing the landscape? Do you feel that we have enough programs, or rather we are headed the right direction in terms of, apart from your company?
So we have programs actually at the county levels, which they've been running, like the KESA program, but now it's coming to an end. I would really like to encourage the government to continue with such programs, because you see, on such programs, farmers are able to get not only on the potato value chain, it runs across. There's a dairy, there's a chicken, all those. So let them not just end the program. Let it be continuous. As much as I know it is a donor-funded program, let it continue. Because you see, farmers are able to acquire these. In fact, they're not even buying, they're being given. So you see, in the long run, they'll realize the importance of having these. Let me just focus on potato. In terms of seeds, in terms of fertilizer, trains, and what have you, they'll realize the importance of having them. And when this program ends, let's say after 5 years, they'll now continue doing the same thing, because they've realized the profits in the industry. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, this is the Morning Glory Show. We are coming live from Dawi Afrique Photography. With us this particular morning is Laura. Laura is actually one, a farmer, then two, also she's actually ventured into potato farming, and she is the MD of a company called Stagro. Stagro will help you right from getting the right seeds to making sure that you get the right market and the right motivation for you. I'm talking about money when I say motivation. So you need to link up with them. Of course, Laura, you'd be giving us your number so that we can be able to maybe pin it also on this particular broadcast. So 07
11 30
okay 30
99
99
22.
22.
And the bookings for the certified seeds is going on for
Okay.
the July season.
So is it already full? 0711 3099
22.
22. It is Stagro.
Yeah.
Okay, Stagro. So that if you need if you need seeds, then we're able to
We're almost actually reaching the target. Probably maybe less than 1,000, and we will close for the July, then we start for the September.
Oh, so it's after 2
how
months.
it is. It's crazy.
So people are demand. There's a
Like
huge
January,
demand.
people were booking for April. Others even were booking for July. It's crazy.
And how hard is it to produce seeds? How long does it take?
You see, now we have very few aggregators of seeds compared to the demand, compared to the farmers. Most of these aggregators, let me just talk of two big aggregators. We have Agrico and we have Fresh Crop. The rest, of course, they're like, there's the Meru. I know the Kisima closed, but right now we can just focus on these two aggregators. You can imagine two companies doing seed aggregation, trying to satisfy a market full of thousands, not even thousands, millions of farmers. It is a big challenge. Yeah. And I know KPIS is really trying to do something that can encourage smallholder farmers to be seed aggregators. But still, farmers, they've not embraced being aggregators. Most of them, they want to produce where potatoes. But we are looking into even ourselves being seed aggregators probably in the near future. Yeah.
Okay.
It is a big challenge as a country.
So that means there's still a lot that needs to be done on that side.
Do you say, like right now for the July season, we have a demand of over 60,000. We're only able to do 20,000. What happens with the 40,000?
They lose hope.
Yeah, no. So you see now we'll
or
have
they
to
plan
push
something
them.
that is.
Yeah, you have to plan something different. Then we push you maybe to the next season. If you are doing irrigation well and good, you'll do 3 seasons. But we cannot guarantee you in every season you'll get the seeds. That is a challenge that we are having. And in the near future, let me just interrupt. In the near future, just the way I've told you, even us would really love to be aggregators. But you see now we cannot be everything. But if an opportunity comes for us to be aggregators, we will surely be aggregators for the certified seeds for our farmers. Yeah.
And actually, this presents an opportunities. I think this is a show that has been full of opportunities. And if you've been tuned in from the start to this particular time, then I would ask, what is the wisdom of going on and on when you already have enough motivation? Maybe all you need to do is to visit Madam Laura here. Of course, he's given a number. My producer tells me it was not so clear, so maybe we'll need to repeat the number so that he fills it in so well. It is 011
07
or 0711 309922. Okay, I think that is well captured. So make sure that you reach out to her. Of course, you had also mentioned the location of your offices.
Yeah, I've already mentioned.
Maybe you can
also,
still.
Yeah, 8 to 8 rule.
8
a.m. to 8 p.m.
or 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Please don't call past. Don't call at 9, please. There's somebody else who usually calls at 9, please. So I think with that, of course, I need to remind you also that you need to also visit D-Square, because you also need to dress to be addressed. After getting those monies from aggregating seeds and from also the market, you also need to visit D-Square so that you dress to be addressed. You need a nice shirt like this one of mine, then you need to walk into D-Square Fashion House. Of course, if you want to take up fashion as a career, kama hii mambo ya viazi wewe unaona ni ngumu, unataka tu uvalishe watu, then you can walk into D-Square School of Fashion Design and Tailoring and make sure that you also get a chance to dress to be addressed. Alafu tunaenda Elgeyo Marakwet kujibamba. So tunaenda kwa kina Laura kujibamba on the 17th and the 18th day of this month. And Dawi Afrique now is taking you to Rimoi. And Rimoi is in the Elgeyo Marakwet. It is where you get the biggest elephants. It is where you are able to experience nature. You are able to just sit down, relax. We'll be having a lot of games. We'll be having a lot of fun activities, a lot of team building activities, just to make sure that you are ready to face the second part of the year. I'm told the first one has not been easy, and we have been promised that the second one is not about to get easy. So you really need to refresh. You need to relax as we get into the second part of the year. Laura, I'll be coming to you for your parting shot.
This Rimoi will need to go with my farmers.
So, in fact, farmers are going with us for the trip. I've given you a few people for your for your seeds. So I will also give me a few people for my trip on the 17th and the 18th day of this particular month. Anyway,
Yes.
karibu.
Let me encourage youth to take agriculture seriously and agribusiness. Let's focus on doing commercialization of agriculture. We have so many youths around who complain of lack of employment. But did you know that agriculture is the only industry whereby you can employ yourself and earn your own living based on your own efforts? So I encourage more people to do agriculture. Let's not even live to the old people. Let's embrace the new technology. And again, even women. Most of my farmers are women, youth and women. But now already we have those youth who've migrated from the village to the urban centers, claiming that the life in urban centers is good. Let's go back and embrace. I actually came back from Nairobi to do agriculture as a passion. And I'll tell this as an example because I'm an economist, I'm an accountant, but by passion, I'm an agriculturist in potato industry. Yeah.
So umesema hii ya potatoes pia inabamba.
You will never go wrong. And for me, the way I've told you, do the numbers. You'll tomorrow actually wake up and go to the farm.
Hey guys, the Morning Glory show is now going off air. And they usually say for a period of time that we cannot actually tell. So please guys, be good people. Tomorrow I'll be going to the farms. Anyway, that is a bad joke. There's somebody called Lorenga Daniel. Says good work, my comrade. I told you there's somebody called Daniel.
Hi,
Daniel.
Lorenga.
So he said he will reach out to you.
Yes.
And sema pongezi sana. Thank you so much for that. Of course, there is Anthony. Says, by the way, in the beginning of May, I couldn't get potatoes. I came from Nandi and I teach in AMC. I usually buy potatoes as I go home over the weekend. But early May, you couldn't get a piece of potato. EMC county government need to do something about the cold rooms. Thank you so much for that. Malik Sang says good as baby girl. And then there is of course Malik okay, sawa. Nimesoma hiyo by mistake. Kiprono says good work. Then there is Joshua Kiptolele says keep doing the great work. There is Gabriela says tuned in. Then D Square says Laura is doing a great job out here. Keep on the amazing show. Thank you so much, D-Square, where of course they are part of our sponsors for this particular show, and I'm sending Laura there to come take a suit. Amesema wakulima wavai suit. Mike Mtanui Kailel says a few days ago alikuwa anachanga pesa ya chips. Right now mambo yeah, actually ilikuwa imekuwa ngumu. Mlikuwa mnaingia wawili kwa hoteli then you changa chips then, lakini sasa hizi unaona at least everyone can afford even to buy it even for the neighbors. So and actually Laura says that is a problem. Then there's Ben Bor says listen carefully. Thank you so much. Then Kasarotich says this is informative about potatoes. So we have our whole demand for Saudi, yet we can't meet our own demand. Food for thought. This is an opportunity. Thank you so much for that. Lesho Kibiwat Keyboard says, by the way, I've been following Kindly and I've seen an opportunity. Tirop Felix Kiprotich says, tuned in. Good morning. Very nice. Thank you so much for the many comments. Of course, I need to sample more comments. Of course, we are running this on 2 pages. So let me also continue sampling more of the comments that you've sent in. Also on a different page. Of course, let's do this. Okay. Okay. So there is also who again? Osea Changulet says good morning. Thank you so much. Fanuel George, thank you so much. Joy Chepta Joylin, thank you so much. Kosgerap says thank you so much for inspiring farmers and entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for creating time to be with us this particular morning. Of course, tomorrow it is a healthy, wealthy, wise Wednesday. So make sure also tune in yesterday. You tune in tomorrow to make sure that you also benefit from doctors. Of course, right now we have a partnership with Topil Hospital. Just make sure that you get to understand the conditions that may affect your spine. Most of them is not because of maybe diseases, but rather because of degenerative nature of the spine, so that as you grow old, your spine may wear out or some parts of the body may wear out and may need a few corrections here and there. So tune in tomorrow and let's continue also educating ourselves more about health. This particular morning, thank you so much, Laura, for the so much information you've shared with us. Of course, so many people appreciating what you've done and so many people having seen opportunities, and that is exactly the vision of this particular show. With that, let's see you tomorrow and also see you on the 17th and the 18th day of of this month as we go to Rimoy. Of course, already Laura is helping me do the advert, so that means that she'll be giving me a few farmers. Thank you so much and see you tomorrow.